Hi everyone, my name is Hugo. Today I'm going to talk about the introduction, presentation, and the speech. So introduction is the most important part in the presentation and the speech. It's because if the first 2 minutes or 3 minutes is bored, will you keep attention to the presentations? Of course not. So, but if you made a success to the first few minutes in the presentations, your audience will keep paying attention to you until your body and conclusions. So let's get started to the detail. So introduction consists of 4 different parts. Firstly, the attention getter. Secondly, benefit to the audience. And thirdly is a thesis statement. And lastly, a preview statement. So let's check the details. So the first is attention getter. You can say attention grabber too. So attention getter can be anything, but it is the first sentence in your speech. So it's the most important things. It might be the most important things to get the audience attentions. So it can be a questions, or it can be a quotes, or maybe something you can do like a magic, or like you can perform anything. Yeah, so it can be anything to get that audience's attentions. So for example, so if I do, why do you need to speak English in Japan? And so my attention getter for this topic is, have you ever experienced that like people ask you how to get to the station in English? And I can ask my audiences whether yes or not. It doesn't matter. It's just to grab the attentions. And secondary is the benefit to the audience. It is actually so presenter will show them what's the benefit from your speech, so audience can figure out what are I gonna talk about, what we're gonna talk about, and then what they can get from me. So from my topic, so for example, so in this presentation you will know how to study English and the motivation to study English or something like that. It can to explain your presentations, what you will talk about. And the third is the thesis. Thesis statement is the important part to show them what is your idea to the presentations. So thesis should be a 1 sentences and specifically talked about your presentations, and it's a bottom line of your ideas and summarize your point. And it's actually, you can be a central idea. So from my speech, for examples, so English is a requirement for all Japanese people. That is my thesis statement for the presentation about why Japanese people need to speak English. And lastly, the preview statement. Preview statement covers everything in your speech. So tell your audience how to organize your presentation. So for example, from my presentation is firstly I will talk about the reason why you need to study English, then tell you about how to study English, and lastly I will talk about your future plan after studied English, after you mastered English. Like this. So firstly, secondary, thirdly, or firstly, then lastly, to make sure what is your point for your each paragraph. So I will show you how total to conclude my introductions about why Japanese people need to study English. Have you ever experienced that people ask you how to get to the station in English? You might say yes or not. But in this speech, I will talk about the reason why you need to study English and how and what is that for. So English is a requirement for all Japanese people. So firstly, I will talk about the reason why you need to study English, of course, and then talk about the way to study how to study English. And lastly, I will talk about how to use English in your daily life. How was it? The introduction is the most important part in your speech and presentations. So if you have a presentation coming close, please use this format and make the best introductions. Bye.